Hello listeners. Welcome to another podcast on world history. Today I will talk about effects of the Peloponnesian War, which falls under the Peloponnesian War. This content is about to understand the effects of the Peloponnesian War on the Greek city-states. So, let's get started. Effects of the Peloponnesian War. Following the Peloponnesian War, Athens underwent a period of harsh oligarchic governance and Sparta enjoyed a brief hegemonic period. The Peloponnesian War ended in victory for Sparta and its allies, and led directly to the rising naval power of Sparta. However, it marked the demise of Athenian naval and political hegemony throughout the Mediterranean. The destruction from the Peloponnesian War weakened and divided the Greeks for years to come, eventually allowing the Macedonians an opportunity to conquer them in the mid-4th century BCE. Athens. Democracy in Athens was briefly overthrown in 411 BCE as a result of its poor handling of the Peloponnesian War. Citizens reacted against Athens' defeat, blaming democratic politicians, such as Cleon and Cleophon. The Spartan army encouraged revolt, installing a pro-Spartan oligarchy within Athens, called the 30 Tyrants, in 404 BCE. Lysander, the Spartan admiral who commanded the Spartan fleet at Aegispotami in 405 BCE, helped to organize the 30 Tyrants as a government for the 13 months they maintained power. During the 30 Tyrants' rule, 5% of the Athenian population was killed, private property was confiscated, and democratic supporters were exiled. The 30 appointed a council of 500 to serve the judicial functions that had formerly belonged to all citizens. Despite all this, not all Athenian men had their rights removed. In fact, 3,000 such men were chosen by the 30 to share in the government of Athens. These men were permitted to carry weapons, entitled to jury trial, and allowed to reside with the city limits. This list of men was constantly being revised, and selection was most likely a reflection of loyalty to the regime, with the majority of Athenians not supporting the 30 Tyrants' rule. Nonetheless, the 30's regime was not met with much overt opposition for the majority of their rule, as a result of the harsh penalties placed on dissenters. Eventually, the level of violence and brutality carried out by the 30 in Athens led to increased opposition, stemming primarily from a rebel group of exiles led by Thrasybulus, a former triarch in the Athenian navy. The increased opposition culminated in a revolution that ultimately overthrew the 30's regime. In the aftermath, Athens gave amnesty to the 3,000 men who were given special treatment under the regime, with the exception of those who comprised the governing 30 and their associated governmental officials. Athens struggled to recover from the upheaval caused by the 30 tyrants in the years that followed. Sparta. As a result of the Peloponnesian War, Sparta, which had primarily been a continental culture, became a naval power. At its peak, Sparta overpowered many key Greek states, including the elite Athenian navy. By the end of the 5th century BCE, Sparta's successes against the Athenian Empire and ability to invade Persian provinces in Anatolia ushered in a period of Spartan hegemony. This hegemonic period was to be short-lived, however. Lysander. After the end of the Peloponnesian War, Lysander established many pro-Spartan governments throughout the Aegean. Most of the ruling systems set up by Lysander were 10-man oligarchies, called dekarchias, in which Harmosts, Spartan military governors, were the heads of the government. Because Lysander appointed from within the ruling classes of these governments, the men were more loyal to Lysander than Sparta, making these Aegean outposts similar to a private empire. Lysander and Spartan king Agis were in agreement with Corinth and Thebes that Athens should be totally destroyed in the aftermath of the Peloponnesian War, but they were opposed by a more moderate faction, headed by Pausanias. Eventually, Pausanias' moderate faction gained the upper hand and Athens was spared, though its defensive walls and port fortifications at Piraeus were demolished. Lysander also managed to require Athens to recall its exiles, causing political instability within the city-state, of which Lysander took advantage to establish the oligarchy that came to be known as the 30 Tyrants. Because Lysander was also directly involved in the selection of the 30, These men were loyal to him over Sparta, causing King Agis and King Pausanias to agree to the abolishment of his Aegean Decarchias, and eventually the restoration of democracy in Athens, which quickly curbed Lysander's political influence. Agesilaus and his campaigns. Agesilaus too was one of two Spartan kings during the period of Spartan hegemony. Lysander was one of Agesilaus's biggest supporters, and was even a mentor. During his kingship, Agesilaus embarked on a number of military campaigns in the eastern Aegean and Persian territories. During these campaigns, the Spartans under Agesilaus's command met with numerous rebelling Greek polis, including the Thebans. The Thebans, Argives, Corinthians, and Athenians had rebelled during the Corinthian War from 395 to 386 BCE, and the Persians aided the Thebans, Corinthians, and Athenians against the Spartans. During the winter of 379/378 BCE, a group of Theban exiles snuck into Thebes and succeeded in liberating it, despite resistance from a 1,500-strong Spartan garrison. This led to a number of Spartan expeditions against Thebes, known as the Boeotian War. The Greek city-states eventually attempted to broker peace, but Theban diplomat Epaminondas angered Agesilaus by arguing for the freedom of non-Spartan citizens within Laconia. As a result, Agesilaus excluded the Thebans from the treaty, and the Battle of Leuctra broke out in 371 BCE. The Spartans eventually lost. Sparta's international political influence precipitated quickly after their defeat. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to check out other tracks as well. Show your love by hitting the subscribe button and do like, comment and share, to spread knowledge. See you next time. Till then, keep learning for fun.